Hi Amiga, what is up and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Jennyfer Ross and your boy
Benny.
Yes, as you may have known, we are parents now, and in this video we want to talk you through our labor and delivery story. So yeah, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about all the baby content and the new parent content, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this video. So first things first, we're gonna start off with a short medical history. We're not gonna make this too long. As you may or may not know, I have diabetes. I had that before I was pregnant. That was the whole reason that I was miscarrying before this and had all problems regarding my pregnancies. Yeah, and especially staying pregnant, because getting pregnant was not really a problem, but staying pregnant and miscarrying was a problem. I was very good followed up for my diabetes the whole time. The scare from the beginning would be that normally when you have diabetes, babies will grow too fast or be too big when giving birth. So from the very beginning, they told me that they would not let my pregnancy go over 40 weeks. And from like I think midway in my pregnancy, I also saw a doula in the hospital, and she told me that there was a possibility that in the last few weeks of my pregnancy, my sugar levels would be like unstable. So due to that, she expected that they would induce me around 38 weeks. So that's the information that we had to go with from the beginning. But other than that, I had a very good pregnancy. There were no issues up until the last month. So my last trimester and due date. My due date was on February 17th, even though my app said that it would be February 14th. However, February 17th was the medical one and the one that the gynecologist has set before. So yeah, we had an appointment with the gynecologist on January 17th, and in the month of December we did not have an appointment with him. And because of my diabetes and my history with all like pregnancies and stuff, I used to have an appointment with the gynecologist almost every month. So the last appointment was on November, the 27th of November, and then the next appointment after that would be the 17th of January. Yeah. And that was a very big gap. With the last appointment in November, everything was okay. Everything was going according to how it should be going. Nothing like special. Even the gynecologist was joking around, telling me to come back when there was some excitement. So yeah, everything was going good. In December, I had my baby shower on the second day of Christmas. Everything went well. Then the only thing that I was always saying, and also I pointed it out to the doula, was that I felt like my belly was not as big. I am a very curvy woman, so I always thought that I would be I would have a very big belly. That's just what I thought. Not that I'm complaining, because it was easy the way that my belly was, that I had a smaller belly, because I was still mobile up until the last point, still giving birth. I could do so much more, but my mobility was declining a little bit.
And also getting tired.
And I was also getting tired. So I was obviously pregnant, but there was not a very big belly till the point that I gave birth. On January 16th, we had an appointment with the endocrinologist, and they noticed that my blood pressure was a little bit higher. So they told me that the next day I would have an appointment with the gynecologist anyways, and they told me to just follow up with my blood pressure at home, because we have a machine at home, and then to send in my results later. So that's what I did. And then the next day I had an appointment with the gynecologist, and my blood pressure was high again. So did he immediately send me to be monitored?
No, they gave you Trandata.
No, that was after I was monitored.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You have to go to the monitor.
Yes. So anyways, with that appointment, he also noticed that the baby was finer, smaller. And he asked us, like, did I point that out before? And we were like, no, you always said that the baby has longer legs, but you never said that the baby is smaller. So he was concerned right away.
To be specific, with finer and smaller, he just means she was off weight. The weight wasn't in line with
how it's supposed to be. The growth curve?
Yes, it wasn't in line with the growth curve because the amount of weeks that she was, her weight wasn't in line with that.
Yeah, that's what he meant heavier.
Yes.
She should have been heavier. So I immediately got concerned, but he told us to not worry. He would also send us to be monitored, because he also told us that he just wanted to make sure that I'm not having, that the baby is safe and that I'm not showing any signs of preeclampsia. So therefore I needed to be monitored, and then he would like look up and see what else we could do. And he would also let my blood be drawn so that they could just check and see if there's anything that needed attention right away. So we went to be monitored. I was really, really emotional because of that, because it just doesn't sound good. Up until that point, every appointment went very well, never any issues, and this was just significantly different. So I was a little worried with that. But then the monitor session went well, and they've taken my blood, and they also took a urine sample to check if there were any proteins, which weren't there. And proteins in your urine is an indication of preeclampsia. So none of that was happening. That was good. And the next day he called me to let me know that even my blood levels were all good, but that he would prescribe me
Yes.
prescribe me with Trandata, which is a medical
blood pressure.
Yeah, a medication for blood pressure. So up until then everything was good, and then the week after, on the 24th, we would have a second appointment with the gynecologist again, and then he would see if the baby's weight is going up, and
your blood pressure.
And if the blood pressure also stabled. So then the next week, I think my blood pressure did stabilized. But the baby gained like 100 grams, I think. So she was growing, still not like how we wanted to see. But the baby was growing. So for that point, there was nothing to really be concerned about. And he told us that he would plan a different monitor sessions for me in the upcoming weeks, and then on the 9th of February we had to come back for a new ultrasound. Yes.
So he because he was going on vacation.
Yes.
We missed 1 week, so we had to go the 7th for a monitoring session.
Yes. If I was concerned or anything, then I should contact them and also come by for.
And that's why you had to go also the 8th of February. And then the 9th we had the ultrasound. How do they say it? The
ultrasound. And with the ultrasound of the 9th, he would decide on which day he was going to induce me. Since I have diabetes, he would not let me go over the 40 weeks. And if I had any concerns or problems before that date, I would have to contact them. And then, we would go according to that. But anyways, everything went according to plan. There was only one day that I had like a scare. And my mom was here because she came over for her to attend while I was giving birth, So my mom was here and she was like, yeah, you shouldn't take any risk. And she's just overprotective, I guess. So we decided to call the hospital and they told me to come by. And then we thought that was gonna be the day, but it ended up not being the day. And that was on the 8th, right?
Yes.
That was on the 8th of February. And then on the 9th, which was the next day, we had first a monitor session in the morning and then an ultrasound right after. And with that ultrasound, the gynecologist just asked me, how are you feeling? I don't care about what the monitor says. I want to know how you are feeling. And I'm going to be honest, I was just feeling very, very anxious with the fact that we live in the suburbs of Antwerp and not in the city. So when you call a cab here, it's just a question when they're gonna be here. Now I discovered Uber, which is way easier. Wish I had done that by that time. But back then I only was using taxis, and it just concerned me a little bit that if I would have pain in the middle of the night, what was I going to do? And if the taxi wouldn't show up, because it has happened before. I didn't want all the drama. So I told him about that. And I also told him like all the situation with my blood pressure is also not making me feel calm. It has me tensed, you know? So I would prefer to be induced. Just check up a date for me and please induce me. And he said that was okay. By the way, because of my blood pressure and all that, as soon as I knew that, I had to quit working as well. I visited my general practitioner, and she wrote me off until the point that I had to give birth, because I was so concerned. I couldn't keep my attention to my work just because of anxiety and just stress and all that, you know, which you probably can imagine. But anyways, back to the 9th of February. Then we went to the labor and delivery department. Section, department, ward, whatever. I had to be checked down there and see if my birth canal was any ready, if I already had like any dilation already or whatsoever, or what the state was of my birth canal. And then according to that, they decided that I needed to come back the same day at 5 to be induced. To start being induced. They would place a balloon in me and start the whole process and try to make my birth canal ready. If you hear like little baby sounds, that is little baby. She just had her milk, and she's just in Benny's arms right now. So yeah, anyways, we came back at 5 o'clock. And they wasted no time. They installed the balloon right away. And Saffie, ga je wel rustig zijn, mommy? Anyways, yes, they wasted no time. They installed the balloon right away. The whole placement of the balloon was pretty painful, especially when they still need to check you again to see like how your birth canal is doing. And the placement of the balloon itself also really hurt. It feels really uncomfortable, but then you're just bound to a bed, and it is what it is. And I prepared myself pretty well by writing affirmations beforehand, that my body could do this. I don't know, just mentally to prepare myself. And also I did like a few birth classes together with Benny, in which they like teach you how you can practice your breathing, and those things I felt like really helped, but they were painful, and they became every 5 minutes, pretty much immediately, right? Pretty much immediately, because he was just timing them, and I had contractions every 5 minutes. So it was pretty intense. My mom was with me in the hospital, but there was only one person who could stay. So we decided that she would stay with me in the hospital and that Benny would go home, just because my mom doesn't know her way around here in Belgium. So she would stay with me, and Benny would come back the next morning. So he stayed up until like the last
12 o'clock.
Yeah, till 12.
And I can remember asking them like, okay, what's the purpose of the balloon?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And she said, yes, the balloon it's gonna get bigger and then it will fall out.
Yeah.
And I asked them, okay, but what happens when the balloon falls out? Is that the point where she's gonna start having the baby, or is it just a procedure? She said no.
That almost never happens.
It almost never happens. So it will be fine. You can just come back the next morning. I said, but what if she said, oh yeah, then you will have to take a cab. Okay. So I went home. Yeah. I arrived home. I told you like I'm home. Mm-hmm. And after half an hour, you told me like, yo, the balloon just came out.
Yeah. And I remember asking the nurse. I went to the bathroom and I asked the nurse, like, I felt like it felt a little weird. I feel like it's gonna fall out. And she was like, no, that never happens. Don't worry about it, because if that happens, that would mean that you will already have 4 centimeters of dilation. That never happens. It's probably for tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, if you need to use the bathroom, whatever, just do it. It's fine. So I said like, and I can do number 1 and number 2. And she said like, yes, that's not a problem, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then I go to the bathroom and what happens?
It falls out.
It falls out. So there's an emergency button that I can press. I press the button and she comes and she's just shocked now that it fell out. Shocked, and she takes the balloon and goes with it to show it like a trophy to her colleagues. Anyways, after that, the contractions continued. They continued, but mommy. Yeah, but the pain was bearable, I would say, because before the balloon fell out, there was a point that it was so painful. I didn't cry loudly, but I did cry in silence a little bit on my pillow because it was so painful. And the pains, like, what could I describe it as? As period pains, but it literally feels like it felt like the baby wanted to crawl out my belly button or something. Yeah, sorry. That's the only way I could describe it. It was really, really painful. But with the right breathing exercise, it was doable. And then at some point, my body started to make some kind of hormone that they told me that your body was going to make, that makes it more bearable to do. So that happened right before the balloon fell out, and then after that I could have like a pretty okay night of sleep. I called Benny a few times, but everything was going okay. You also told me that you were really sorry, and I was like, about what? And he said like, yeah, I'm sorry because you are in so much pain and I feel like I can do nothing. So I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, you really felt guilty for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so cute, I think. After the balloon fell out, I think I already said that, but I had 4 centimeters of dilation, which was good. So 6 more to go, I was thinking in my head. But anyways, then the morning rolled around and Benny was back. He came back very, very early. Benny arrived at 6 because they said they would start breaking my waters at 7. So anyways, he got there, but they decided to break my waters at 7:30. So after that, I started to be in pain. The contractions were going crazy. They were going crazy. Yeah, I was in so much pain. But still, with the breathing exercises, it was still doable. But you do feel it within your body. Then around 8, they bring breakfast for us from the hospital, and I start eating my breakfast, but then a nurse comes in and she takes away my plate and she tells me like, yeah, no, just stop eating because oh, and by the way, the whole time I'm also on the monitor so they can check the baby's heartbeat, the baby's movements, my own heartbeat and all that.
When you were getting those contractions,
yeah,
her heart rate was dropping.
Oh yeah.
Like she was holding her breath also, and the thing was that she just needed to, it shouldn't drop as much when you were getting contractions.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah. Sorry, the whole thing, I remember a lot of it, but it's also a little bit blurry because it was just a lot, and the whole day I have not eaten, and that just impacts the way that I remember things. So they took away my plate because they told me please don't eat anything. There's a very big chance that this is gonna be a C-section just because her heart rate is dropping every time that you have a contraction, and we don't like to see that. So there's still a possibility that you will give birth vaginally, but just to be sure, we are not gonna let you eat. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But I still thought,
yes, then?
I still thought that this baby was gonna be here before 12 o'clock. So in my head, it was like, it's fine because how long do I have to be in this situation? Maybe till 12 or something.
So they gave us 2 reasons for the heart rate to drop.
Yeah.
One could be that she was holding the
umbilical cord?
The umbilical cord.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was that the umbilical may be wrapped around her neck.
Yeah.
And because when she's getting her contractions,
yeah,
it's get tighter at her neck. or that she's pressing the umbilical cord. So that's the reasons that they gave us
Yeah.
for her heart rate dropping.
Yeah. But anyways, after they broke my waters, which was also a very uncomfortable situation, but yeah, it's part of the process, then the contractions came in like crazy. And then again, every 5 minutes, I would have contractions, pretty bad ones. But I was still keeping up with it. Then around 9 or 10, the gynecologist came by because he started his shift and he wanted to know how I was doing. And then I told him like, yeah, I'm in a lot of pain, but I feel like it's doable. And he started to tell me that maybe I should consider the epidural. And in my mind, I was not thinking about like how many hours I already had that I was in labor. I was just thinking about in the centimeters, in the dilation. Like I'm only 4 centimeters dilated. Why, you know, I have so much more to go. Why would I already choose the epidural? And then he told me like, if you take the epidural, then you can still nap after and stuff. So maybe you should just take it. And I felt really guilty about doing that. But then Benny told me like, it's better if you just take it. So I decided to say yes.
But why did I told you that?
For this, because in my head I wanted to do it the natural way, or as long as possible,
but
without any.
She was already more than 12 hours in pain.
Yes, I was already.
And you were really tired because she was sleeping, and every 5 minutes she would wake up to do the breathing for the contractions, and then she would fall asleep immediately
and snore.
Yeah. And just every 5 minutes she would just wake up, and so you could really know when she was sleeping because the moment the contractions would stop, she would start snoring again, and she was off. So she was really tired.
Yeah. So I was already 12 hours in labor, but that completely slipped my mind. I was only thinking in the centimeters. We need to go to 10, and I'm only at 4 at the moment. They checked me up, and then I was 5 centimeters.
Yes.
So I felt like
tight.
Yeah.
No, it was a tight 5 centimeters.
Yes.
And later in the day they said, oh, okay, no, now it's an easy 5 centimeters.
But I felt like I was going through all this pain for what exactly? I'm still nowhere compared to this morning. So then I decided to say yes to the epidural, and thank God I said yes, because the gynecologist also said even if you would have a C-section later on, then you would still need the epidural. So it's good either way if you just take the epidural. And I was happy that I said yes, because it took 2 hours or 3 maybe before the anesthesia person could come by and give me the anesthetics. So yeah, I was really happy. And by the time he came by, I wanted to cry from happiness, because yeah, I really wanted to cry from happiness, because it was just it was so painful. But I didn't scream at no point. I just did the breathing the way I was always doing it. And yeah, up until the point that I got the epidural. With the epidural, you need to sit really still, because I heard like a lot of horror stories about it, of people that it would end up in the wrong, in one leg or something, that they would only feel one leg that was numb or whatever. So anyways, you need to sit very still. And it was really my concern that I would move just in the moment that he would inject me or something. But thank God all of that went well.
And it was fast.
Yes.
They got it in fast.
Yeah, they got it in fast. So that was good. And the point was that I could rest now that I have the epidural. Well, that didn't quite go like that, because the nurses that were there in the morning, they switched with the new people that would start working around 12, and I got a new nurse. And that nurse wanted to switch me up the whole time, my positions, put me on my legs, put me in this position, put me in on the other side. And I wasn't sure why they were doing that. And I remember in my birth plan, or my birth wishes, I wrote down that I wanted an open communication, just because I like to know what is happening, what is going on. As soon as I don't know what is going on, it makes me nervous, it makes me anxious, and that's just not good for anyone. So after her turning me in all types of position, and all this time I haven't eaten, you know, and it's already, what time is it? What are we thinking? It's almost 3 o'clock by this time, you know? So I am just annoyed because every time that I'm in a position and I can relax, she comes back and turns me in another position. So then I ask her like, okay, y'all said that there's a possibility that I could give birth vaginally. Then y'all said that there's a possibility that I would have to give birth by C-section. I haven't eaten all day. I have diabetes. I am not allowed to not eat all day. I'm falling in and out of hypos. My sugar levels are dropping. If this continues too long, then I am not in the position to give birth by pushing, by vaginally, or by C-section. And then from that point, she was like, okay, I'm gonna ask the gynecologist as soon as possible what we can do about this. She also gave me a bag of glucose, you said. Yeah, I don't even remember that happening. That must have helped in some way to keep me stable. But then around 5, they came and they said like, okay, we're gonna dress you for the operation room because the baby is gonna be born by C-section. This is taking too long. So yeah, this is game time. Yeah. So they gave me some liquid to protect my stomach, and from that point on,
oh my God,
everything went like I felt really drowsy. They put me in an operation gown, and then I had to like be placed on another bed, and I was wheeled out of there with Benny by my side. My mom couldn't come with. She needed to stay in the delivery room where we were before. But they promised that they would inform her as soon as the baby was out. And they said that it was gonna take like maybe 10 to 15 minutes or something. Right?
Right.
To take the baby out. Yeah, that's what they said. And yeah, I'm laying on that bed for a second time because I had like a situation before that I was wheeled to an operation room. And this time it felt just as awful, honestly, because you just hope that everything goes well. You just hope that you come back out of it alive. Yeah, and just that everything goes well and that the baby is okay. So much worry, so much stuff, but also the fact that I haven't eaten all day, the stuff that they gave me to protect my stomach. It felt really sweet, but a little too sweet. It was just awful, honestly. But anyways, we came to the operation room. Everybody introduced themselves. But at that moment, I was so, how do you say that? Wazig.
Yes.
Blurry.
Yeah,
everything felt
blurry.
Yeah, everything was blurry. I do remember everyone introducing themselves, but not what their name was, who they were. I was just fighting to stay awake because I felt like I could fall asleep right there and then. And then they got to work. You can tell that part because you remember it very good. Give me the baby. Yeah, you can tell that part. So we go downstairs to the operation room.
This whole time, I wasn't prepared for a C-section.
No.
It was more like she was being born the natural way.
Yeah.
Friday to Saturday, I was just sitting there thinking like, okay, at one moment she would just push. And also the room that we were in, if she would have a normal
birth,
it would just happen in that same room. So yeah, I was just there chilling and comforting Jenny. After 20 hours, I started to get the feeling like, okay, it's gonna be a C-section, and we really didn't prepare for a C-section. So when they came, they gave Jenny something to drink and the gown, right? Yeah,
the gown, the surgery gown.
Yes, the surgery gown. Everything went very fast. They were starting to give me so much information, like you need to come with her. They were telling me where I need to sit, what I'm allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do, what's gonna happen, and it was going so fast. And before I knew it, we were going down. How do they say it?
The hallway.
The hallway. we end up in a elevator with no doors. Did it have doors?
No.
So we went down, and at the other side, the guy that gave Jenny the epidural was waiting for us, and he was trying to comfort Jenny, and also he started to give me so much information. But this hallway, it was like
creepy.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
All the lights were so dim
and cold.
And cold, yeah. So all of a sudden, we see a door open and a bright light comes out.
Yeah.
And behind that door, there was another door. And in between those two doors, there was like a little machine for babies where they can weigh the baby, keep the temperature of the baby. And behind that door was the operational part of the room. So they stopped me after the first door. They stopped me, and I also had to put on a mask.
Like a whole suit?
A whole suit I had to put on. Meanwhile, they are still giving me a lot of information. Like, I can't remember what they were telling me. There was a, how do they call the children? Doctor?
Oh, the children's physician?
Children's physician. I think there were two. Yeah. And they introduced themselves, and they were trying to give me information what their role was there, and all of a sudden there were a lot of people. Yeah. So we went in. They rolled Jenny in. They were starting to prepare Jenny. There were 2 or 3 guys, right, and a woman.
I don't remember.
I went in the room. They gave me a chair to sit behind Jenny, and
they said like very clear to you, you cannot cross that line.
Yes. No, so they gave me a chair to sit, and Jenny's head was just in front of me, and there was a table where Jenny was lying on, so they put 2 bars for Jenny's arms, and above that bar was another bar. That's where the, how do they say it?
A cape or something went up
something
there.
Like a cape went up there, and then
behind the cape,
they were doing the operation. Yeah. So what is it? The hinter? Is it the nurse?
What?
It's a nurse, right?
Yeah, a nurse.
She told me, like, you see this bar, you're not allowed to cross this bar at any moment. Yeah. You need to stay behind this bar. You can film, you can make photos, but you do not cross this bar.
Operation, by the way, we mean surgery.
A surgery, yes.
Yeah.
So I saw them starting. They were doing all the preparation and things like that, and I was like, who's gonna do this operation? Because surgery, because I thought the gynecologist was going to do it. So everybody there, the assistants, they prepared everything. They even put a red thing on Jenny's stomach, and all of a sudden I see a door in the back opening, just sliding open, and it was a dark room, and I saw the gynecologist come in like just like a movie star, wearing his gloves, and he just came. And he made like this, and he
demanded respect or something.
He did like this. They were putting out everything on him, and he gave us a few instructions. He comforted Jenny, and they just started. And while they were busy, the nurse told me again, yeah, you're allowed to film. If you want to film, you can film and things like that.
Yeah, but he was just stuck and frozen. And
I was stroking because I still had to process everything what they said and what was happening. And okay, I started filming.
You were not there because you made pictures instead of filming?
Yes, I made pictures instead of filming. But this thing went so fast. It went so fast that I saw them pushing on Jenny's stomach 2 times. And the baby was out just like that. And if you thought things were going fast, it went faster after that. Yeah. Because they took the baby out, the gynecologist looked at him, and I heard looked at her, and I heard the children...
the children's
physician behind me saying like, oh, that's a small one. Start all
the machines and
start the machine, and she told her assistant to start the machine. They also needed to warm a warm blanket. A warm blanket. They had to warm the blanket. So she went to get the baby, They told me you need to come with us. And I was like, wait a minute, do I leave Jenny here and go with you guys? And then the nurse said, no, you need to come with us right now.
Yeah, just for the checkup.
For the checkup. So while they were doing a checkup, they were telling me what's happening. Like she's too small. She can't hold her own temperature. So we will bring her to the other thing, and you will need to go to do skin on skin. And while she is telling me this, the nurse is asking me what is her name, what's her name gonna be. So they were giving me the length, they were giving me the weight. A lot of things were happening. So all of a sudden they tell me, yeah, you need to start talking to the baby and play with the baby. So while I was doing that, they were busy calling upstairs.
Yeah.
So that the people upstairs can start making preparations.
Because she needed to go into the couveuse, we say in Dutch.
Yes.
But I don't know what the English word is.
It's like
I will look it up. Yeah,
yes.
The warmed box. But
yes.
we will put up the name on the screen.
And so they put her in a warm blanket, and they said, yes, we're going to the mommy. They give the baby to mommy. The nurse released Jenny's arms while they were busy with the surgery.
Up and everything.
Yes, she released Jenny's arms so that Jenny could hold the baby. And while Jenny was talking to the baby, she was talking to Jenny, explaining to Jenny what was gonna happen.
Hey, kom je even naar beneden? Tot zo.
Oké, Merlin, dat wordt een opnametje over gewicht. Maar het is van de goede start. Nee,
Ze klinkt heel snel, hè? Ja. Ik spreek de hele tijd tegen jou. Je hebt het goed gedaan, hè, schat? Ja. Heel goed gedaan. Dat is inderdaad goed sterk gehouden. Je is zo beautiful, Benny. Je bent zo mooi. Je bent zo mooi, schatje. Mooier dan ik me ooit had kunnen voorstellen. Wat ben je lief ook.
And we were gone.
Yeah.
Going upstairs, they said, and while we were upstairs, they said, yes, take off your shirt. You need to hold the baby skin to skin until the mommy comes.
Just normally, when you give birth vaginally, the mom does the skin to skin the first hour, but
And also try to give
breast milk. But because I couldn't, I was still on the surgery table. He had to do the skin to skin. By the way, what we forgot to mention is on Friday, the gynecologist gave her estimated weight for when she was born, and he said that she was going to be
2,600
approximately 2.5 kilos.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, but of course when she came out, that's kind of what I remember, like a little shock from everyone that she was way tinier than they calculated. So
she was small.
Yeah, she was really small. And from the surgery itself, I would compare it to a dentist appointment when they give you anesthetics as well. You can still feel it, but it doesn't hurt. Oh. Yeah. You can feel everything, and I felt them pushing on my stomach and everything, but it doesn't hurt, which is good because I don't think you want to feel that. Yeah.
True.
But then after he left to go upstairs, I was just laying there and just falling asleep, snoring, because I was so tired of all the hours. In total, how many hours was I in labor? 24.
Yes.
24 hours.
Because we checked in at 5.
I got the thing, yeah, and I got it at 6:30.
At 6:30, and Safar was born the next day at 5:30.
Yeah, 24 hours in labor. Yeah. And then after that, I was just there on the table, being sewn up. I was snoring and just tired. I excused myself. I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry that I'm snoring here. And they said, like, no, take your Zen moment, it's fine. And then after that, I was brought back to the labor and delivery room where I was before with my mom. And my mom was still there, you know, anxiously waiting. When I was rolled back in, she was yappa-yappaing, and I don't know whatever she said because I was so out of it still. But then, yeah, they also informed me that my mom could not stay with me at the hospital. She could stay for that night, But after the next day I would have to find a solution, just because
she could stay.
Yes, but on the ward where Saffie was staying,
she wasn't allowed to go there.
Yes.
But the other room she was allowed to stay.
She was allowed to stay, but then the whole purpose of her being in the hospital with me didn't make sense anymore.
So, because she went to a special department, only the parents of the baby are allowed there.
Yeah.
So
because there are other fragile babies there as well.
Yes. So because her mother wasn't the parent of Safar, she wasn't allowed there. So, but we had a room for 5 days.
Yeah.
So even if she was there, she would have to stay till 7 o'clock in the evening to see the baby, and she wasn't even allowed close to the baby. She would have to stand behind a glass to see the baby. But because Jenny wasn't able to walk yet, she had no reason to be there. So the next day we explained it to her, and then I would stay because I was allowed to go there and just help with Jenny and the baby.
And my sister and stepdad picked my mom up the next day. When I got to the other room where my mom was before, I send him a text like, hey, I'm back on the room, everything is okay. But his phone was there with us, so I didn't know that. Anyways, then after a while they
But wait, when I went up, they put Saffie skin to skin. So I was sitting there with the baby, and I was like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And they told me like, yeah, don't worry, she will be here shortly. So I was thinking like, okay, after 15 minutes, half an hour, Jenny will be here.
Yeah, they didn't inform him that they would bring me to the other room back where I was before to rest first, before they would transport me to where they were.
Yeah, so after an hour, I started to get really worried because I was thinking like, oh, did something happen to Jenny? And I was sitting there 1 hour and 30 minutes and I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
What is happening?
Now I was thinking like, I should have brought my phone because I could ask her mom. But after 1 hour and 45 minutes, the nurse where I was told me like, yeah, they are bringing her up. So after 15 minutes, they finally brought Jenny up. And she came up with the biggest smile just to see the baby.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was so out of it though. I felt still so drowsy from all the drugs. But I was so excited to see the baby and just to see him again, because they took the baby out of me and they took her upstairs. And yeah. Oh, by the way, when they brought her to me before they took her upstairs, I couldn't believe my eyes how beautiful she was. Yeah, she was so gorgeous. And
she was blue though.
Yeah. Blue? The baby?
She had a whole... When they took her out of your stomach, she had a whole other color.
No.
And then she started to turn...
the normal color.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But I remember when I saw her for the first time, she was so beautiful. And I couldn't believe that was the baby that was in my stomach. Yeah, that was crazy. And also when the doctor was holding her, when they just took her out. Yeah.
Weren't you jealous?
Yeah, but I was just... Yeah, I don't know. I was just happy that she was okay.
It was a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that's the time. Yeah, it's the exact time that she was born, 1732. And then what else did I want to say?
When you came up.
Yeah. Anyways, when I came up, like I was just so excited to be with them and to see my baby and all that. So yeah. That was that.
It was a great experience.
Yeah. And then after that, of course, I got the news that she would have to stay in the hospital until she was 2 kilos and 300 grams. So that was approximately gonna take her 4 weeks, they said beforehand.
Yes.
So we needed to like arrange all the logistics around that. We had 5 days in the room that I signed up for, in which I was going to stay with my mom. But of course, my mom was picked up the next day. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Here you go. Yeah, no? Okay. Yeah, anyways, so we needed to change like everything, arrange our logistics around that. Luckily, there was a chance for one parent to stay with Safar every night. So
after the 5 days.
Yeah, after the 5 days that we stayed there. So originally I wanted to be that parent that would stay like until she got the way to leave. But then yeah, the whole experience, being at the hospital, everything, it was just a lot. So we arranged that every 2 nights we would switch up. So I would stay with Safar for 2 nights. He would stay with Safar for 2 nights. And then the person who wasn't in the hospital would just go home.
Yes.
For the 2 nights.
To cook and bring food.
Yeah. You would still come back the next day, like every day. But just to sleep, you would go home the 2 days. And yeah, then the part when we had to leave the hospital.
But luckily, she started gaining weight very fast.
Yeah, because it was exactly on Saturday that we could leave again. So that was exactly 2 weeks.
February 24th.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks later we could leave. So she gained her weight really, really fast. But I do remember the moment that we had to give up the room that I signed up for when the 5 days were over and we had to go home. Even though I was coming back the same day, I was so hysterical. I was so emotional. And we took a cab and I remember I cried from the hospital all the way up home. And the further we got from the hospital, the harder the tears were like just streaming out of my eyes. And the cab driver must have thought like, who died?
It was an awkward ride home.
Yeah, it was awkward and dramatic. But yeah, it just felt so unnatural to leave the baby behind. And I was so heartbroken about it. I'm not gonna cry right now, but I was so heartbroken that the baby was there and I was away from her. It felt wrong, even though knowing that she's in good hands, they're taking care of her, it felt really, really wrong. And I couldn't wait to go back and be with her. Yeah. But yes, that is our birth and delivery story. Do we have time for some questions?
Yes.
Okay. I have posted on Instagram and Facebook for you guys to send us questions. So here we go. Amiga, contanos también como pasa na estado. Dus please tell us how your pregnancy was. I had a very, very chill pregnancy. Like I said before, it's just the last month that was just dramatic. But the pregnancy itself was really, really chill. Didn't have any problems at all. I wasn't sick at all. I was very mobile due to my belly not being big at all. So yeah, I had a very, very, very chill pregnancy. And it was just minor issues. Bandenpijn, I don't know how you say that in English, but just pressure when I would walk too much or do too much. And that was just in the last trimester. But other than that, a very, very chill pregnancy. Binosa komba ervaar zwangerschap en bevalling. Maar bonota haya hende mujer superhuman. Tiffany says, I don't know how you experience pregnancy and the delivery of the baby, but don't you think women are superhuman? We go through a lot.
Yes.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
But I also think it's the mommy feeling.
Yeah.
Because I can remember one of the days, she just had her C-section 2 days ago. So normally after 2 or 3 days, you're allowed to walk. So I was coming back from home to go and get her, to go to the baby. And I saw her with a wheelchair. So she was, you know, so and when someone sits in a wheelchair, the other person stands behind them to push them.
Yeah.
Yanni was standing behind them, behind, just pushing the wheelchair just to use it as balance, so she wouldn't fall or just to force her way to walk. She was doing all that just to go to see the baby. And even the nurses were telling her like, we have never seen this before. Why don't you just relax? And Jenny didn't want to hear none of it. She just wanted to go and see her baby.
Also, the next day after I've given birth, they told me that in the evening they would come and take out the catheter. I don't know, like the pee bag and all that, and that I would have to stand and walk. And I was like, but because they came the same night to clean me up after I've given birth. But then the next morning they came again to like wash me up and everything on the bed. And I don't know, as a black person, we really are extreme with our hygiene. I am not used to being washed in a bed, you know? So I was like, but if I can stand, can I just, isn't that gonna be easier? And then she said, as like jokingly, like if you can stand, you can take a shower if you want. And I was like, okay, I want to try. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, if I have to be able to stand tonight, then I don't see the difference. We might as well try right now. And then I took a shower the next day. I could stand. After I started feeling my legs again, I could stand. So I just took a shower and they were like in O's and ahs, like what?
Yeah, she was forcing it, amigas.
I wasn't. Okay, maybe a little bit, but still. I felt like I could do it, so why not? They had to help.
Superhuman. Let's put it like that.
Okay, anyways. Kiko lo botaba take miho information DJ. Kiko a catch by surprise. So what would you wanted to have like more information about, and what did catch you by surprise? Actually, I don't think we could have prepared any way differently than we already did, just because it was mentioned to us that there was a possibility that this would become a C-section, but they have a policy in which they try to go the natural way first and use equipment and technical stuff if they have to. Dus in Dutch they say natuur eerst en techniek als het moet. So yeah, that was the whole policy that the hospital goes by, and I don't feel like there is anything that we could have
that catch you by surprise.
Yeah, that catch you by surprise. Maybe the C-section a little bit, just because they were doing all types of stuff to give me, which was directing me in the vaginal way, but then eventually it became a C-section, and then maybe they could have told me beforehand that the ultrasounds are not that accurate. Maybe that's something that they could have done, because I don't feel like they said that before, that the ultrasound could be not as accurate. Yes, that's the only thing actually, because it was really a surprise when Saffie came out.
Yeah, so okay, the weight caught us by surprise.
Yeah. Hoe is het nu? Melissa asked, hoe is het nu om papa en mama te zijn? Hi Tantje Sudushi, Saffie. So how is it to be a parent now? And she says hi to Saffie. It is the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me. The most beautiful thing ever. I'm so proud of her, proud of myself, proud of us, because this is really something that we wanted for so long, and it's even better than I imagined. It is also challenging because there are times that she is making growth spurts, and in those moments it's just really difficult to figure out why she's crying, why she's upset, things like that. But she is a very chill baby, so she makes it really easy on us. But she is the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to us, if I may say so. And it brought us closer together. It makes us communicate way better. And yeah, I'm really happy to be doing this with you and to have you by my side.
So am I.
Yeah.
So am I. And Saffie says hi back.
Yeah, Saffie says hi back. Yeah. ¿Cuánto hora dura in labor? How many hours were you in labor?
24.
Nene asked. 24 hours. That sounds crazy.
It's very long.
I never thought.
Even I started got irritated.
Yeah, I never thought that I would be someone like that would be in labor for 24 hours. But here we are. Melissa also asked, wat was jullie eerste gedachte toen jullie Saffie voor de eerste keer zagen? What did you guys think, or what was your mindset when you saw Saffie for the first time? Shock, because of how small and tiny she was. But also, I was happy that she was okay. And she came out and she was crying. But crying like, hey guys, I'm okay, okay? Like, what? Like 3 times. And then she stopped. And then she was looking around like, what is this all about here?
Yes.
Yeah, she was really nosy. But, and yeah, of course, I thought she was really beautiful. So, yeah. I couldn't believe that was the person that was in my belly the whole time.
Yeah, man.
And you?
The same. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a real baby.
Yeah.
And but the thing that surprised me also was when she started just looking around, like she was observing what was happening. She wasn't crying. And also when we started talking, she started responding also to the voice. And but it was also a relief.
Yeah, relief that it was finally over.
Yes.
At least that part. But agora preciso com o processo abai of Benny Mr. acordado certo cosna. Nene also asks, do you remember everything, how everything went during the whole time? Or did Benny have to remind you? Benny had to remind me because I was so blurry due to not eating, tired. It was a lot. The whole thing was a lot. A lot of it is still blurry in my memory. Yeah. So yeah. Boso tabat in Magdi Hospital. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Benny dapat nervioso, kentur dapat presente na bevalling. She asked like, did the hospital allow? But I don't know what she is asking. Maybe allow us to film? Yes, but like we said before, till a certain point, he was not allowed to cross the part where the surgery was taking place.
You can't film like in the stomach. Yes, you can't film that.
No.
You're way too far from that.
Yeah. And she asked if you were nervous.
Yes.
During the
C-section, yes.
Yes.
I wasn't nervous in the room.
During the labor, actually.
No, during the labor I wasn't nervous. It was when the C-section started.
Yeah. During the labor you were also nervous.
In the room?
When I was in pain in the room?
Not
really?
Not really.
Okay.
It was more that
you were just concerned.
Yes.
Concerned. Yeah, he was concerned and nervous during the C-section when it was taking place then. So nice as Kiko Lobohasi pa e next baby. Kiko Lobohasi outro pa e next baby. Lobo durfde hasi parto na kas ku undula. Dus what would you do different for your next labor or next baby? Would you dare do a labor and delivery at home with a doula?
No.
You answered that for me. For the next baby, I'm gonna ask right away if they can do a C-section right away. Just because I am curious if the situation is something that could repeat itself with like the baby not have enough nutrition in the last few months. If that's something that could happen again, then I would want to know if they can give me a C-section right away, because I feel like the whole balloon situation with the contraction, them breaking my water and all that, it was all a little bit for nothing. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, so it was all to prep my birth canal that I didn't really use because they gave me a C-section after all. With my because I have so much going on, and also my history, I don't think it's a good idea for me to give birth at home at all. It's just dangerous.
If everything goes fine, you have nothing, just I would say.
If you're healthy and you don't have any of those conditions like I have, then I think it would be very comfortable to just give birth at home. But unfortunately, that's not in the cards for me. Then Melissa asks, hoe hebben jullie de eerste nacht geslapen na de geboorte van jullie prachtige dochtertje? How did you guys sleep after the first night that Saffie was born, after the birth of your beautiful daughter? Well, we had two first nights. The first night in the hospital right after she was born, and the first night at home.
After the hospital.
After the hospital. We will start with the one in the hospital after she was born. For me, it felt crazy. I couldn't believe that I was a mom now, that I've given birth to a real human. I also felt guilty that I was not laying on the same department as Saffie, that I couldn't be there and hold her, and you know, if she cries. It feels like really weird after you've given birth to not be with your daughter right there, even though she was just down the hallway. It was really weird. Hi, mommy. I'm sorry about that still, okay? But at the same time, I was really tired, drugged up with all the drugs that they have put in me. So yeah, it was really a strange experience. And for you?
I was tired because after those 24 hours, because because I had to go home. Remember? Because your mom stayed with you the first night.
Yeah. But anyways,
I was tired the first night.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, really exhausted. And then the first night at home was nerve-wracking. We were happy. That was after 2 weeks. We were happy. And you think, you know, especially me, I know what to do there was a mother born with me when my daughter came out. But it was also really like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? But it was all good actually, eventually. That's good. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Nene also asks, Benny no por aparawak full e proceso of ela prefera para na cabeça di ekama kubo. Did Benny watch the full procedure or did he prefer to stand with you? You know, when you were pushing the baby out. Well, I didn't push the baby out and he had no choice but to stand with me where my head was when Saffie was being cut out. Did you get your hair done? No, no. I washed my hair because my hair was really, really dirty. Luckily, because on Friday
your nails you did, right?
Yeah, I did do my nails though. But on the Friday that we went to the appointment for the ultrasound, I didn't expect that I would be induced that same day. So no, my hair was washed. And that was it. It was just up in a bun and I ended up looking crazy anyways. Yeah, I ended up looking crazy. But that was the last concern I had in that moment. Because yeah, I was just concerned about so many things. But if I had the chance and in an ideal world, I would have gotten like braids or something. That would have been way easier to give birth. How were you able to get in the mental zone to focus on pushing? By the way, both those questions are from Meline. How did I get in the zone? The moment the year turned around and we were in 2024, January, I started writing down affirmations, finding affirmations on Pinterest to inspire myself, say them out loud, and programming my brain that I am ready for this, thinking positively, that every pain, every contraction will bring me closer to my baby. And that is the way that I was able to get through. And then also the breathing exercises, like I said many times, they really, really have helped to endure the pain and all that. That's how I was able to prepare. And I also wanted to add something. When we were with her in the hospital during those 2 weeks that she needed to gain weight, that is when we learned most things that we still use and apply until this day. So that whole experience was a blessing and a curse. But yeah, of course you don't hope that happens.
True.
But at the same time, we're really grateful that it happened because we were not mentally prepared to.
That is true.
Yeah.
That
would have been
true.
so stressful if we would have the baby and come home after 3 days. Yeah, I think that is where I would have been a little chaotic, I think.
That is something that only an experienced person can do that. And those nurses there were so nice. They were explaining everything to us. And even though for me it was a little bit of because when you're at home, you're in your own privacy, you're free to do whatever you want. It was the best thing because we also learned to how rhythm, because to wake up every 3 hours, because they won't help you.
No,
you need to do.
They will help you, but they will make it really clear that this is not an hotel where they take care of your baby and you just sleep in. No. You need to do all the stuff like you will do at home, and they will just guide you and help you where you have questions or whatever.
Yes.
But you are doing all the stuff.
Yes, but they also, if something doesn't work with procedure A, they will give you procedure B. So
yeah, they learn you how to swaddle the baby.
Yes.
They learn you how to catch up on the signals when she's hungry, when she has cramps, things like that.
So when we came home, we could just
see what she needed.
Yeah, we could just go on.
Yeah.
But if we had to come home
and figure that out on your own,
that's not. It
would have been a task.
Yes, and it will cause more frustrations.
Yes, definitely. Was it as painful as people say?
No. What was what?
Was it as painful as people say? The contractions, yes.
Yes.
The pushing part, I don't know. But the contractions, yes.
And you didn't have the full contractions.
I didn't even have the full experience because I didn't give birth vaginally. But the whole experience, it was very, very painful. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. But for some reason, you will start making a hormone that will help you to go through it. You know, I would do it all over again. Even if I have to give birth vaginally, I will. It's really weird. And that's all the questions on Instagram. Let's check Facebook if there are any questions there. Somebody says yes. Yanutsi. Okay, thank you, Yanutsi. And then Yakaisha says, no questions, just passing by to say, esta bonita. Oh, that's so cute. So, no questions, but she's just passing by to say how beautiful. Yeah. So, yeah, that's that. And are you guys ready to meet Saffie? Are you guys ready? Yeah, maybe like unswaddle her and take off her slobbertje. Saffie, are you ready for your grand entrance, baby? Are you? Guys, this is Saffie. Say hi to the amigas. I am little amiga. And guys, she is my mini me, okay? She is my mini me. She has, okay, she's in between us with her skin tone, but she is my mini me. I looked exactly like this as a baby. I have proof, okay? So she is my mini me. And she has dad's eyes though. Ooh, she's fitting. Yeah, but this is our little Saffie. Yeah, she's so cute. I can't believe I got everything I manifested, everything I prayed for. So cute. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here till this point, leave us the teddy bear and a heart, a pink heart emoji, so we can know that you watched till the end. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel or my channel if you want to stay up to date with our journey as parents. Once again, we are super grateful that she chose us to be her parents. We're having so much fun parenting her and just nursing her, doing all those things. So yeah, that is that. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. And I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye! Bye! Bye!